Sonic Sculpting ATX is a non-invasive body contouring studio specializing in zero downtime treatments to help target stubborn fat, build muscle, and tighten the skin. Treatments require no needles, leave no scarring, and are pain-free. These cost-effective treatments have helped restore confidence in so many clients. Don't miss out. Mention Women of Austin and receive 30% off services or packages. Scan the QR code to connect or follow at Sonic Sculpting ATX. Hi, welcome to the Women of Austin podcast. Today we have a really special episode. We are going to recap and wrap up season 1. I can't believe it. And with me today, I have a very special guest and friend to the show, Terri Broussard Williams. Terri, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I feel like this is my prize for being on the principals list all season. Is getting to be here with you today. This is very special and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe it's been 14 episodes. It'll be 16 by the time we're done wrapping up this month.
Crazy.
And, I just wanted to take the time to thank our sponsors. We've had some really incredible support from the community, and I wanted to shout out some really special, really strong supporters, Warren Callion Maddox, Amplify Credit Union, and McGovern Law. We love you and everyone else who supported us, and thank you so much.
So this is going to be so cool. I've always wanted to be Oprah, so today is my day to make the wish come true.
Yes.
And if you've watched each episode, you probably know that Mindy starts with a definition and then we get into the conversation. So today, this definition is all about you.
Oh, okay.
So I always say that a fire starter is someone who sees others and sees things that others ignores. Then they take action. They take that very first step and they take action to start something new. It's essentially what you did with the show. You are a fire starter, and you've ignited something in Austin that many women said were missing, an opportunity to feel collaboration, to feel a sense of companionship and community. And so I think that is just something that we have to celebrate. But I want to know, what exactly was your why, and how did you get there?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for all of that. That's so sweet and so special to hear, especially coming from you. And my why, the strongest pull for me is connection. Mm-hmm. So we say collaboration, communication, connection, all community, all the C words. But connection is really important to me. So I ran a successful business, and it was e-commerce, and I did it all alone, and I moved a lot, and I went through a divorce, and I was doing all the things that I thought that I was supposed to do with my business and my marriage, and I realized I was doing it all wrong because I was trying to do it all alone.
Oh.
And so it wasn't until all that fell apart, thank God, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, that I had the opportunity to stop and realize what was missing and what I could do to get better. And once I started connecting with other people, everything changed for me. And I was more excited to get up in the morning and more ambitious. And I wanted that for other people.
I think that's so important. I mean, what you just said is like a whole word, the gospel according to Mindy. But a lot of times we are everything for everyone else and absolutely nothing for ourselves. So you can pour and pour into others and still wake up feeling hollow. But you stopped and decided that you were going to make this transition. And I also think that a lot of times when people talk about life pivots and things like divorce, the first thing out of someone's mouth is, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But you truly don't know if that person is celebrating choosing themselves and their happiness. So congratulations to you for doing what was right for you, which essentially made it right for your family.
Yeah. I think everyone's a lot happier now.
What were some things that you learned about yourself along the way?
I've learned so much along the way, especially doing the show with the topics that I pick and the women that come together and talk about them. Girl, it's like free therapy.
Subscribe now.
Yes. And one of the things that I've noticed is there are a lot of recurring themes, and we always kind of come together and find solutions and share stories. And one thing I was really surprised about when we filmed the episode on balance, I had a lot of women on that panel who I thought they had their stuff balanced, like for sure, and they're going to tell us how they do it. But then when everyone started talking about their struggles, I was like, wait, you wake up in the middle of the night worrying still, or you can't do this or that like with ease? Like, oh, okay, you know? So it's just nice to know that we're not alone, and that that women are willing to show up and talk about it.
Well, and I love that you've been so intentional. You know, you mentioned when we first started that for you, this was about connecting with others. And once you started connecting with others, you came alive. But you've truly built a community, around each of these episodes. You know, I remember going to the first happy hour that you had, and the room was full. You know, there were 50 women that I had not met before, you know, my time in Austin since 2008, that came together, and they were rallying around the show. They were rallying because they wanted to meet each other. They were rallying in support of women in Austin. And that is something that is just beautiful.
Thank you.
So for me, I think about the community you've built and so many people that show up consistently, you know. So shout out this morning to Cassidy, who got up super early to do our hair and makeup. She has been there, you know, every episode, and she's one of the favorite people that I love to see when I come to spend time with you. And also Anthony, he's the man behind the camera. He is someone that I can say, outside looking in, has helped you grow along the way, has coached you in a manner that's been with kindness and respect, but also allowed you to do your own thing. And that's something that we don't see often with men that are supporting women. So tell us about Anthony. How did you guys meet? What does he mean to you? And just how do you two pull together this magical show every month?
You know, thank you for asking, because Anthony is a key piece to the puzzle, and I certainly could not do this without him. We met in the fall of 2019. Yeah, fall 2019, and we were doing a photo shoot for Ann Hudson at Hotel Zaza, and Anne was like, you have to use my photographer. You got to use my guy. You got to meet Anthony. And I was like, yes, yes. And then I met him, and I knew why, like, automatically. And he's just so easy to work with. And so we did a bunch of photo shoots together, and we formed this great relationship. And he always does great work, and always he does good Mindy management. I like to call
love that. A little M squared there.
Yeah. So I'm just really blessed to have had him, and to know that someone who knows me and trusts me, and I can trust him. So when I got the idea for the show, I called Anthony, and I was like, hey, I got this idea. Can you do that? And he's like, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
And then I called you to sanity check it. And you're like, I was like, can I do that? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, okay, here we go. So, Anthony, or the Ant-Man, Spent Casing Media, is just amazing. And I feel weird talking about him because he's right here. Hi, Ant.
What up?
Love you. Yeah.
You're like, too legit. Don't quit.
Yeah, right.
But I remember that summer, because my shoot was not that long after Anne's. And, well, actually, I'm going to go back a second. So we met at the W Hotel in the lobby bar, and you were telling me about this idea you had for a book, and I'll never forget it. You know, I had friends that were talking about something similar in a different city, so I understood the concept really quickly. But for me, it was refreshing to hear you talk about it. And I remember asking you, like, why and how. And you were just so real. You know, I'm starting over and I'm starting with this business because I see potential in growing it. And I would have never thought that it would have moved from pages to the web, you know, like a page you search on the internet. But there was something about you where you were just like, I am committed to this idea. I'm committed to me. So I was thinking about it just yesterday, and it was serendipitous that our first shoot was at the W where we met. And I hadn't thought about it that time. But I even think about the changes within myself from there. I was so nervous about taking pictures because I was just coming off of my concussion. Wasn't happy with my weight. Wanted, you know, we always want to be like better when we take pictures, right? But you and Anthony coached me. You were like, get it, girl. Let's get to walking down this, you know, hallway. And even now, you know, I've healed and changed. So you are truly a fire starter, not just for everyone who's watching, but every single person that you touch when they're shooting with you or they're on this couch. And so I want to go back to that original idea about the coffee table book.
Yeah.
So what is up with the coffee table book? And can I take my pictures again?
Right. Anthony. It's a thumbs up. So I started looking for a job and not knowing what I wanted to do with a degree in graphic design, but e-commerce was my experience. And that was something I didn't want to touch ever again. And so I saw this listing on Indeed, and it was for an inspiring woman book. Someone in San Antonio, this woman, Virginia, and her husband, Phil, they're so wonderful. And so I worked with them a little bit and learned about their book and their process and how they do it in San Antonio. And they encouraged me to do the same thing here in Austin. And then I just started reaching out to women I didn't know, and they would meet me and have coffee with me and, agree to be in the book and introduce me to their friends. And one thing I will say that is so special about the women in Austin is that every single woman I met with, I didn't have any history, anything to prove, or anything to show that I could do it. They just said yes and believed in me and said, how can I help? Every single one.
So I literally just got goosebumps. There's something so profound. So, you know, that little bit of free therapy we talked about.
Yes.
But I think so many times as women, we know our baggage, right? We look ourselves in the mirror every day, and you know what you got going on. You know what you want to change. And we show up many times to that coffee chat, and we introduce others to that baggage, and we allow our doubts to creep in. And I never thought about it that way, but you just said, like, I'm going to show up as me. You were going through a whole lot at the time, and yet they didn't know. There was no history. They welcomed you. So let's underscore that. The free therapy or the lesson is, it's okay to leave your stuff at home and show up with your good intentions, your good heart, and good work ethic, because that is what got you here.
Yes. And the book, we worked on it for a while, and we have about a third of a book done. And during the pandemic, I had a lot of time to sit back and reflect, and there was a good amount of time where we couldn't do photo shoots anywhere. And so I had all these messages and all these stories that I knew from all these great women. And I was trying to figure out how long it's going to take to put a book together to start to share and get them out there. And it was driving me nuts. And that's when I decided that I was going to stop and focus on inviting women to meet in person and share these stories, and creating a show so we can share these stories for the people who can't come. So the book is a-coming, but for now, I've just been focusing on highlighting as many women as possible and getting as many together as possible. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Can I get two? Oh, and guac.
At Amplify, we've eliminated all banking fees, so you can enjoy more of life's extras. No fees equals more guac. Amplify.
So I've seen it all, and I feel so lucky because I feel like I'm that coach in the back or the guardian angel where I'm like, y'all go girls. Every episode, I feel like I get a preview, get a little text from you about how it went, what you're proud of. But I've seen like how the show has changed. I've seen how you changed. And so I go back to that very first episode at Westlake Wine Bar. Homegirl, literally, we should look at the footage. Your cards were shaking in your hand and your voice was trembling. And we just got to this point where we started doing warm-up questions and we laughed. And then I told you this after. It was like, boom, like something happened. And then you were like, I got this. But so tell us how the episodes have changed and how have you changed along the way?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that Terri mentions that I check in with, how the show went and all the positive things. But this girl's there for the fire drills too. Like, she gets some texts when things are going wrong too. So
you gotta have that girl behind the text hype chain to like remind you, like, you got this,
my hype
and
girl.
You will get it done.
Yes. I'm like, okay. So thank you for always being there,
always.
For the good and the bad. So yeah, the first episode we filmed, I remember looking back at it and my head was in my notes and I was nervous. And you're right. Once we got the conversation going and flowing, it was wonderful. And that episode actually, we didn't end up airing. So I would actually really like to want to take a special moment to shout out you for showing up and giving your time, and Dr. Aisha White and Amber Smith, and Cassidy came again for hair and makeup. Anthony was there, obviously. So we just that wasn't the episode that we wanted to come out with to present ourselves. So that was our dress rehearsal, literally. Yeah.
But it was such a big decision, right? When you're starting something new, it's, expenses out of pocket, it's time of a doctor and a mom. And it was still like hot early COVID. Like, we did COVID tests before we got there because Amber had a baby. And so when you think of all of that, the opportunity cost, and you just said, I am scrapping it because it is worth it to me and it's worth it to my community to do this right. Yeah. Like, how did you get there?
It was a hard decision, and I asked a lot of friends and a lot of people. And to be honest with you, my biggest concern was the other women who came and gave me their time. And I was really nervous to tell you, and Amber and Aisha and all of you just accepted it with such grace and support and understanding that I couldn't, then I knew I made the right decision.
Yeah.
And now looking back even at what our episode 1 is, which is great. But looking at how far we've come just from there, it's amazing to me how much we've all learned and just the growth and the progress in my ease of sitting with somebody. And Anthony's got all kinds of tricks and tips. I know now that I don't have to ever worry about the location or what the setup's going to look like. Because I used to go and take videos and send him pictures. And he's like, okay, yeah, thank you. But now I don't even have to because I know he's just got it. I'll send him pictures and be like, we could set up here like this. And then maybe, I don't know. And then I'll show up and he'll have it all set up perfectly where it was supposed to be, somewhere I would have never imagined. So it's just fun to have had that growth and to have things start to kind of fall into place. And
yeah.
Does your company use Salesforce? If so, you probably know all about the information gaps that are impossible to fix. Well, they're not impossible anymore. Magic Robot connects the gaps in your Salesforce data so you don't have to. Do you feel this pain? Then go to magicrobot.com and get some relief. Women of Austin would like to thank our community sponsors. Hot Works Austin Lakeline at Anderson Mill Road and FM 620. Torch those calories in a third of the time with their virtually instructed infrared sauna workouts. Open 24 hours at Hot Works Austin Lakeline. Dave's Ultimate Automotive. With 6 locations, there's sure to be one near you. Visit davesultimateautomotive.com and become a part of the Daves family today. Magic Robot. Does your company use Salesforce? Get valuable hidden data that only Magic Robot can deliver. MagicRobot.com. Elite Marquee and Events. High-quality LED marquee letters and more to help create an unforgettable celebration at Elite Marquee Austin.
From note cards shaking in your hands that they are like chilling on your lap
We got our
today.
logo on our note cards now.
But I do hope you can pull footage from, the episode that never aired to show people just how much you've grown and with their help. But speaking of episodes, we're going to wrap this up, I think, and come back and talk about some of the fun times we had this season. Is that right?
Yes, and show some clips and just talk more about all of the things and show some more fun.
Well, I can't wait.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Women of Austin podcast. A new episode premieres twice a month right here on the Women of Austin channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you never miss an episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at women_of_Austin. My name is Mindy Hofman. I hope you'll join us for our next episode of the Women of Austin podcast.